excited, and I'm super excited to share what that event looks like with you all as well. So first of all, America's Job Center, we have recently relocated. You guys may have known us at the old Goodwill building well, it's not the old, it's still there on Industrial Way. We have relocated on Broad Street, just a mile down the road in the Acacia Business Center. We are open to the public. So because of COVID and capacities, we are open from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. We are open for everybody, and we have workshops that are available to the entire public. Specific, as mentioned, resume workshops, LinkedIn workshops, interview skill workshops. So we have several workshops that are just available to everybody. You don't have to be enrolled. It's just part of our services that we offer. For enrolled clients, there are some eligibility requirements, such as low income, or if you were recently impacted by COVID and you're not working, you're part of downsizing, anything like that, to where you're receiving unemployment or had received unemployment, would be a few of the eligibility factors. I don't want to get too much into that because, quite frankly, if somebody comes to us, we will do everything we can if they need more intensive services to determine how they can be eligible for our program. Some of the things that America's Job Center does offer are skills assessments, where we want to know what your work interests are, what your work values are, to make sure that we're making correct matches. Once enrolled, you have a career coach that you'll receive one-on-one career coaching, career planning, transitioning to a new career if that is something that is in your future. Our career coaches will help our clients determine if they're going to just go straight to work, and provide those resources to help with placement opportunities. If they're considering a career change, we do offer paid training opportunities up to $8,000 per person. So if they were impacted and the industry sector they were working in is no longer viable, if a career change makes sense for them, we do have training opportunities. And as mentioned, up to $8,000 that we could help assist them in getting that training. We also have on-the-job training, and I won't go too much into that because Dan will talk about that in about a minute, but that is something else that we offer. We do have support services that are available. So if enrolled clients need assistance, whether it's maybe in interview clothing, or maybe they get a job and they need to have tools to be successful, that job requires them to have school tools. We could help them attain those tools. So we do have support services to help clients transition into that next job. And we would work with the client to identify what those needs are right off the bat. And then we do have follow-up for 1 year after they have completed their program goals. They actually, when they complete their program goals, they're actually in the middle of our program. So their file goes into the next phase of our program, which we call retention. We stay in touch with our clients for a year after achieving goals, and should something happen, should there be any type of fallout, we are their safety net to help them get back on. We can still offer support services, job placement assistance, if something like that should happen within the course of that year. So we are basically here to help identify career needs, navigate training opportunities, and help clients with their job, with training, whatever that need may be, with one-on-one career coaching. So with that, the other part of America's Job Center, I will turn over to Dan, and he'll talk more about the employers side of it and how we work directly with employers here in our community. So I will give that to you, Dan.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Josh, for having us here. Yeah, we'd like to share what we have as a benefit to the employer. So you heard everything that we can do for the clients, an overview of how we're here to assist the clients. And we want to show what resources are available to the employer. And I think if you think of Ecker Connects and how we can help the businesses, you should really think of us as someone that's able to recruit, screen, and refer candidates for positions that you have available. And how we like to do that is we really just want to get to know you as personable as we can. The more we know about your business, the better we can find the right candidate for a placement. And along with that placement, we have two different programs that assist the businesses directly. The first being a paid work experience. So you can think of a paid work experience as kind of a working interview. Like Barb said, we have many different grants. Right now, we're up to 5 with some new COVID ones that came through, and also the reentry population. So we're constantly getting grants, and they look a little different. But the essence is that the working interview, we cover the cost of the wages and liability 100% for the client that we refer over, so that you as an employer are not liable for anything other than the supervision of that client, the training of that client, and then the recording of hours so that we can pay them. And that's how we do our work experience. A separate avenue that we can help assist the business in kind of the training and the onboarding of a client is through our on-the-job training. And our on-the-job training is a bit more intensive in kind of like getting it together. So we use it on-the-job training for positions that require more than, let's say, a couple of weeks of training. So we, as the employer, as we have the client, we refer them over to you guys as employers, and you take financial responsibility for that employer. And we create a training plan of what that employer needs to get better at. We identify together with you and with the client, and we reimburse you for up to half of that employee's wages for however long we determine the training period to be. And I'll give you an example later if that, I know that can get a little confusing. And the reason being is that we really want to be as a support for a client that may or may not in this time trying a new industry, a client that may have 80% of what you're looking for and just need a little help with to become a great employee. We really want to be able to do that, and we do that with the funds. And I think Barbara said it, but anything that we do through Ecker Connects will never cost the client any money and will never cost you as an employee any money, because we are a nonprofit, we're federally funded, and those funds have been allocated from year to year when we go for the grants. And just an example of an on-the-job training and how that goes with, for you guys to see the outcome, is that we had a manufacturing company in SLO that have been trying to fill an upcoming vacancy, and they sought our services to find someone, and they actually had someone apply to them, and they said, I really like this client, but she really doesn't have the capability to do the job. So she referred the client over to us. We got her eligible, we got her in the program, and we actually sent her back to the employer saying, hey, I know there's some things she needed to work on. What were those things? We outlined it with the employer, and we set up an on-the-job training for the first 400 hours of employment. So that client was being paid by the employer $18 an hour, and we reimbursed them for $9 an hour and reimbursed the company for a total of $3,600. And that was just because we built a plan. They gave someone a chance that was almost to the extent that they need to be. And that's kind of how we are looking to use our funds to help assist you as an employer to find qualified talent. And I'm running low on time, so sorry, Josh. I'm gonna send it right back to Barb. If you guys have any questions, there's a number on the screen. Feel free to reach out anytime. I would love to get to know you better. And Barb is gonna share about our event quickly.
Okay. All right. So last but certainly not least, and what we are really excited to share with you guys is Eckerd has received a grant to be able to provide this free virtual event. We are partnering with America's Job Center to be hosting this to our SLO community members. This event, you guys, it's for your families, it's for you, it's for staff, it's for anyone in the community who needs that post-pandemic toolkit. Okay, so really what it is a one-day event designed to help our community manage life transitions and re-enter the workforce in our new reality. There are going to be workshops for adults and kids to address employment, education, wellness, personal finances. So we do have a great keynote speaker, and we have breakout sessions. So those breakouts, kind of what we just did here, they will be in, the sessions will be in employability. So such as, what is the local labor market information? What are the projections? What are training opportunities that are available to fit the demands of what this community needs? We have breakout sessions for wellness, health and wealth. A couple of examples would be yoga at your workstation, building a home gym for under $40, healthy cooking on a budget. We have these speakers that are lined up. We have social emotional speakers and tools that will be part of another breakout session. So that would look something like managing stress and anxiety, live free and own your own mind by one of our other speakers that will be taking that on. We will have a resource breakout. So if you're a parent that is looking for summer childcare, we have a breakout session with those in the community that are providing childcare options. That is another breakout session. We also, you guys, what's really cool is we have a kids track. So if you're a parent and you really want to go to this event, and you have a child between the ages of 6 and 12 years old, we have a kids track also. So you could be attending your breakout session while your child might be on iPad or attending their breakout session. We have a magic show. We have quote unquote a masquerade where the kids can make face masks, dance parties, things like that. So we really did want to encompass the whole family, not leave everybody out. This is for the community, anybody in San Luis Obispo County, for anybody that kind of just needs this toolkit to help them during this time. That is it. And I know we're on, how am I at for time, Josh? I think we're out, right?
You're out, yes.
Yeah. So I see the 13 minutes up there. So I will stop sharing my screen. Josh, if it's okay, I don't know if I could send you this flyer, or Diana already has, to share with chamber members.
Yes, we'd be happy to include it in our upcoming newsletters. So that is really a wonderful program and looks really interesting to a lot of folks. The ECRIT has been a long-time partner of the chamber, and we have all their resources and materials here for folks to pick up when they need more information. So thank you both for your time today.
Thank you.
Let's see, Terry, goodbye, Terry. Everyone wave bye to Terry.
Bye. Sorry, everyone. I got to wrap up the farmer's market. See you later. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're off to Garrett Olson, the CEO of the Slow Food Bank, who's going to be talking to us about all the amazing programs they're doing, and also how to get involved.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Josh. I'm actually going to share my screen in just a second and let you go on a tour of our warehouse while I talk. I'm not going to narrate the tour, but I figured better than staring at me and all of the carrots behind me, it would give you an opportunity to see the food bank if you haven't visited before. And I want to acknowledge a couple of things quickly. Thanks, Barb and Daniel, for what you're putting together. That mental health component of recovery is so huge. We are struggling with that a bit here. We've been wearing masks for so long, and now we are more than 80% vaccinated in our staff. And we have staff members that are still feeling uncomfortable removing those masks, even though public health guidance says they can safely do that. So thank you for that. Thanks to Wendy at ECHO, not only for being a great partner with the food bank, but I'm actually here basking in a lot of the glory that Wendy built as our former chief operations officer. So she is a big part of the success of the food bank during the last year. And Josh, thank you so much. Josh is a new member of our board of directors. So thank you guys so much. It feels good to be here with friends and talking to a community that we care so deeply about. So I'm going to try and share with you. Let's see. Can you see the video? Yes. All right. So I'm not going to narrate, but you're going out into our warehouse. We operate a 20,000 square foot warehouse. So I'll start by saying the SLO Food Bank is super honored to serve all of SLO County. Our formal name is the Food Bank Coalition of San Luis Obispo County. SLO is not SLO City, SLO is SLO County. And this warehouse, this amazing warehouse, is only about 4 years old. We used to have 2 warehouses, one in Paso and one in Oceano, and we co-located those efforts into the city of San Luis Obispo, or actually in the county in an unincorporated area across from the airport about 4 years ago. This warehouse typically holds about 6 months worth of food in inventory. And I'll share with you that during the first 6 weeks of the pandemic, so the second 2 weeks of March and the first 4 weeks of April, we blew through 73% of all of the food that we had in inventory. And to give you some context, in 2019, we distributed approximately 3 million pounds of food to the county. And in 2020, that went from 3 million to over 5.1 million pounds of food. Just historic for this pretty small, comparatively, community. We get food out into the community via 2 primary routes. We have agency partners like Wendy and Echo. These are other nonprofits and churches that are throughout the county. There are 83 agency partners that are on the front lines of hunger relief with us. And so we provide food to them. There are actually 10 agency partners in Atascadero itself. So a lot for a fairly small community. So it's Aaron's Boys Home, Echo, Legacy Church, The Link, Rise of SLO County, Refuge Church of Atascadero, Seneca Family Agencies, Transition Food and Shelter Temporary Housing, Atascadero Loaves and Fishes, and Meals That Connect. So just a tremendous amount of support from the nonprofits in Atascadero, helping us extend our mission. More than 50% of the food that we distribute in SLO County is distributed by these agency partners. So they order food from us. In some cases, they pick up the food here, and in other cases, we deliver it to them, and they greatly extend our reach by offering kitchen and pantry operations for their clients. So I'll share with you that through the agency partners just in Atascadero, every month the SLO Food Bank through those agency partners feeds just about 6,000 individuals. It's incredible. The top 3 in Atascadero in order are Echo, Atascadero Loaves and Fishes, and then Legacy Church. The second way that we provide food to the community is through direct services. So that's our trucks and our staff driving out to one of 60 distribution sites throughout the county. And we provide those direct services when we provide what we refer to as a household unit of food. And that is 1 bag of fresh produce and 1 bag of shelf-stable food. And there are 3 distributions in Atascadero, and actually less distributions in Atascadero than you would assume, given the number of people that we're serving in Atascadero. But it is because we have such amazing agency partners like Atascadero Loaves and Fishes and Echo that we don't need to have as many direct distribution sites there in Atascadero. And through those direct distribution sites, we serve almost 500 individuals every month. We are super thrilled that we started a 3rd leg of service during the pandemic. And that was after our partnership with the county. We had about a 4-month run where the county of San Luis Obispo contracted with the food bank to help provide food to isolating seniors, whether those seniors were in financial need or not. We knew that they were predisposed to pretty dramatic effects of COVID. And so the county was interested in having those folks isolate at home. So through the months up until the end of July, we were in partnership with the county to be able to provide food so that those seniors could shelter. As that program ramped down, we found out that there were quite a few of those seniors that didn't have the finances, the mobility, or the social connectiveness in their neighborhoods to be able to get food. And so rather than shutting down that program and having those people fall back off the map, we started a brand new home delivery model during the pandemic. We partnered with 2 other great nonprofits so that we could stick true to our mission and lean on partners that have a mission that is a little bit larger than ours. And so our transportation is provided by Ride On Transportation. They're essentially our Uber Eats. They deliver the food, and Wilshire Community Services is the agency that provides. I'm going to stop sharing that so you can stop staring at it. Wilshire Community Services is the agency that does the client intake. So rather than us hiring staff to do client intake and buying a bunch of Priuses so we could deliver food, we took advantage of some other great agency partners to do that. And real quick, just a couple of programs that we offer. 2020 really redefined a lot of what it was to be a child, as you know, from the school year. We know that traditionally during the summer months, children that are eligible for free and reduced meals at schools lose that opportunity for nutrition assistance. And so traditionally during the summers, we have what's referred to as the summer breakfast bag program. And that's a backpack full of food. It's typically about 21 nutritious meals that a child could prepare. So they're nutritious and they're easy to prepare. And we have now extended that program. It's no longer the summer breakfast bag program. It's just the breakfast bag program because kids are needing that supplemental assistance year round. We also provide no cook bags. So, you know, there are a lot of folks in our community that don't have access to kitchens, a lot of those folks being homeless. And so we prepare special bags of food that have nutritious food that don't require refrigeration, don't require a can opener, don't require a stove to cook anything. We're really thrilled that we provide those not only through agency partners that service the homeless like ECHO, but also Transitions Mental Health, and a lot of our local police departments will come and get no cook bags from us. And it is an olive branch that they can offer to somebody, whether they're in a creek or they're in a park, if they need to engage them about behavior or they need to ask them about maybe something that they saw. They show up with that peace offering of nutritious food from the food bank, and that connection is instantly that much better because it begins with something that they need. I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to end with just a couple of things. One, our message is always, if you know somebody that's in need of help, please reach out to us. slowfoodbank.org. I got my teeth cleaned yesterday, and the dental hygienist that was talking to me shared with me that she made use of the food bank during this last year because she was underemployed for a period of time, and she's a single mom. People will ask me about the face of hunger changing in 2020, and I will say it's not that it changed, it just became more familiar. I would be shocked if you were not one or two people removed from somebody that was new to hunger in 2020. Your favorite barista, your favorite guitar player at your favorite winery, somebody that was a part of your pre-pandemic life is likely still suffering through food insecurity. So if you know somebody like that, please get them in touch with us or one of our agency partners. If you're in a position to give, I would love for you to consider a gift to the Slow Food Bank. We pride ourselves on the efficiency of our operations. If you give us $15, we're literally going to produce 105 meals. We get audited on that number. That's not a marketing ploy. We actually can turn $1 into 7 nutritious meals. And if you join us as a sustaining donor, we have a brand new program for our sustaining donors called our Heart Network. What I love about it is it's really good for business. We connect our regular donors with small businesses that care about our mission in a way that drives our donors to those small businesses and provides an incentive for those folks. So if you went to Splash Cafe and you were a regular donor to the food bank, you're going to get a free dessert with your meal. It's not going to cost you anything. If you go to Idler's Home and you buy a refrigerator, 5% of the cost of that refrigerator is going to come back as a donation to the food bank. So there, all sorts of different businesses are leaning in to assist us with that. And I'm going to leave you with one thing that I think might blow your mind as business leaders in your community. San Luis Obispo County has one of the lowest enrollments in CalFresh, which used to be called food stamps. It's CalFresh behaves like a debit card where people get a card and if eligible, they get a certain amount of money that they can go and spend at local grocery stores to buy nutritious food for their family. For whatever reason, we are 8th lowest county in the state in terms of CalFresh. Here's the part that's really relevant to you. If feeding hungry people isn't already relevant enough, which I'm sure it is, the lost economic impact of low enrollment in CalFresh in San Luis Obispo County is a loss of $50 million a year of economic stimulus. So we're trying to get more of our clients signed up for that. But I just wanted to share that with you. These aren't people that are abusing the system by not making use of CalFresh. Quite the contrary, they're not making themselves, availing themselves of all the resources they could get. But when they don't sign up, you lose out on the economic benefit that ripples through the economy. And Wendy and I at ECHO and at the food bank find that those people rely more on the charitable side for food because they're not making themselves avail of state and federal funds for that. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk. Please visit us at slowfoodbank.org. And again, you give us $1, we're going to feed 7 hungry people, and we'd be honored to do that. Thank you.
That was just amazing, Garrett. You're just like such a wealth of information, and that background video was that was really fascinating to kind of see, get that behind the scenes tour. I know I get the opportunity to come volunteer, I think, in next month, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I apologize. We're going to save questions for the end. We do have one more presentation. If you need to sign off, we understand, but stick around because now we're going to hear from Wendy from ECHO, Wendy Lewis, the CEO of ECHO. And Wendy, when you're ready, take it away. You're on mute.
So thank you guys for having me. Thanks, Josh. I see so many very familiar faces, so it's just like sharing with a lot of my friends. But it's great also to see Garrett, the behind the scenes at the food bank, because that project, the new food bank, was kind of my last big project. I was the lead on the acquisition and build, and just to see it in great hands is I'm so excited for the food bank's future, and glad Garrett's in that role. So ECHO, what have we been up to? I think I presented about 1.5 years ago at one of the morning presentations, and all I can say is what differences in 1.5 years. I'm still in shock that as I give you some of the statistics and what has changed, that it was all accomplished during a pandemic. So about 1.5 years ago, we were one facility, kind of what's behind me. That was the original ECHO Atascadero, and that was a 50-bed shelter that was actually only open from in the afternoon to the morning. Everybody who has stayed with us actually had to leave every morning, and from the business community, there would be navigation in our downtown, and you know, these people just couldn't be at ECHO even though they might have worked all night. So one of our huge goals was to transition our original facility in Atascadero to 24 hours, which gave people more of a chance to actually be here and getting the valuable resources of case management, job skill training, parenting classes, financial literacy. And so we worked diligently last year with the city of Atascadero, and we're able to make that conversion. And so now, you know, young moms with a 6-week-old baby doesn't have to leave every morning and kind of navigate the heat and the cold. They can be here and get the rest they need, or an 80-year-old stroke victim doesn't have to, you know, leave every morning. So that was one big goal, and that's been accomplished, and it's already making a huge impact here in Atascadero. Well, what we didn't know at that time is that we would actually be looking at potentially opening one facility, but then it ended up being 2 facilities. So we are now, fast forward 1.5 years later, we are transitioned from a 50-bed shelter with 6 staff to 3 shelters that we run with 20 staff, and now we're able to provide 141 safe beds for people to come back to. So that has just been an incredible year. We have a new facility in Paso Robles, and that offers 60 places for people to stay. Right now, it's just an overnight facility, but our hopes is to transition and do the same kind of change we had here in Atascadero, because we know providing the resource-based sheltering is really what gets people housed. Our ultimate goal is to help people find what they need in order to find permanent housing. That's what we bring to this table. So that was all accomplished in warp speed in a partnership with Haslo and People's Self-Help Housing. And that came about through Project Home Key, which was some funding from the state. We didn't even know that was going to be happening until about June. And we were able to have that shelter up and running in early November. And within 6 weeks, our portion was at full capacity. And in the first few months, we've seen over 225 unduplicated adults and over 25 children in Paso alone. And how that kind of affects Atascadero in a positive way is Atascadero was kind of holding the weight of North County because we were only one facility right here in Atascadero. So now that kind of spreads that resource over the entire North County, which really I think helps take some of the pressure off our small community here in Atascadero. So tons of big changes. Another change was we had a very humble kitchen here in Atascadero. In fact, when I was at the food bank, I would actually come do some of the monitoring here at ECHO, and it passed every safety and all the things that we require as an agency partner, but it looked pretty horrible. And it was doing such incredible work. Every evening, it was serving a meal to anybody who was hungry. Community members donate these meals, from the Kiwanis to church groups to families. And every evening it was providing this meal up to 80 people, not just even for the people staying with us, but it just didn't look good and feel good. And so we just finished a partnership with Must Charities, and Must Charities gifts in such a smart way. ECHO had been asking for a kitchen remodel for years and years, and they said, what is it going to do for the community? And so when we looked at it with kind of fresh eyes, we said, what does the community need? What does our business community need? They need workers. They need trained workers. And so now our kitchen is done, and we'll be starting to do a workforce development program. We're in the planning stages. And so we will be able to provide training working with the restaurant and hospitality industry right here at ECHO Atascadero. So we're super excited for that. We have so many restaurateurs that are saying, we need trained employees, we will hire them. And we're just so excited to be launching that. The next phase beyond that is our big wish list is we actually want to create a social enterprise idea out of ECHO. And we are going to produce a soup that is dehydrated. And this is in 2023. And the idea would be, this is a gourmet dehydrated soup that anybody would want. You'd want it at lunch, just pour hot water, but each one we sell, one is donated to someone who's hungry in the community. And so super excited because it's helping train people to produce this product, market the product, sell the product, but it's actually having an economic impact in our community and helps us sustain our program. So look forward to that in the future. And if you want to be part of that, let me know. We also operated an emergency winter shelter this past winter in Atascadero. That was not on our radar. We had a lot we were doing, and the folks here in Atascadero that were operating that shelter came to us and just said, we just don't have the capacity this year. Are you able to do it? And our staff, I asked them because they're part of making these decisions, and they said, of course, we need to do it. We can't let that community not be helped. We did it a little differently. They're typically warming shelters where it's open when it's 50 degrees or raining or under 40 degrees. And we decided that if we opened it from November 1st to March 31st, we could make not only change from having that person be safe, but let's try to work on that chronic population and get them housed. And so excited to report that we had 18 people who stayed with us at the winter shelter that was housed at the community church, which amazing that they housed it all winter. We had 18 people come into ECHO's program, and 6 of them are now housed. And so you hear often that those chronic folks that are on the street or in our parks, you know, they don't want help, they don't want housing. When they have the right resource, they can get housed. So that was, I saw Angela clapping, and I agree, Angela, I was super proud of that. What else do we have? We also started an outreach program, and how that benefits the business community here in Atascadero is a year ago, if you needed our resources, you had to physically come to ECHO. Well, we know a lot of people might not have that ability. They might not have the right mental health state to come do that. They might not just be feeling well enough. So our outreach teams go out daily throughout Atascadero, Paso Robles, and the North Coast, and they meet that person in the park. They meet that person in the creek bed, and they start bringing valuable resources to make change. That first time they meet them, does something happen? maybe sometimes no. Maybe it's just that, hey, hello, how are you doing? But after they keep coming back, change happens. So we're looking to hopefully expand that project and looking for partners on that. What else do we have? Empty Bowls is coming up. How you can help us. We have our big event. It's traditionally 500 plus people, sells out. You come have a delicious soup donated from a local restaurant. You pick out an artisan bowl. If you want to produce the most non-COVID friendly event, it's Empty Bowls, because you touch all the bowls and you're getting soup back and forth. So we're hopeful in 2022 we can do that again, but this year it's a drive-through barbecue or drive-through pickup. It's a meal for 4. You come say hello, you pick a bowl socially distanced, and you get to help a great cause that's really helping people get housed and back on their feet. How else you can help? Financial donations are always needed. It's how we operate, and we do it really efficiently. We make sure your dollar is well spent, and you can come volunteer with us. You know, how do we distribute 3,000 meals each month? It's not 20 staff, it's the hundreds and hundreds of volunteers that make this possible. So please come and volunteer, find out more, echoshelter.org. And I think maybe I have 30 seconds for a question or two, but thank you guys for just kind of hearing what we have going on.
Thank you, Wendy. Wow, between all the speakers tonight, I am just excited for this community and all the amazing work these organizations are doing. I feel like we got it solved right here. This is the brain trust to make some things happen. And yes, I saw that too, Garrett. Yes, I'm also super excited about the soup mixes. I'm gonna let folks ask a couple questions. I'll start off. Wendy, do you are you in need of volunteers for your remind me the name, the Empty the Bowl event?
Empty Bowls. It's April 29th, and yes, we need volunteers. We also are looking for soup donations. We need about 20 restaurants to donate 3 gallons of soup each. So if you have someone who's talented with that, please send them our way. But yes, volunteers, Josh. It's a really fun event because you just get to be part of seeing the community, and our community loves what we do, and it's just neat to see them out. So yes, volunteers needed. And one thing I didn't mention is we also just started yesterday construction. We're doing a complete rehab of our building in Atascadero. It is a wonderful building, but it's built in the early 1970s. And as you go through, it's very humble. And in about 3.5 months, will be completely renovated. So stay tuned for that. We can't wait for the ribbon cutting, Josh.
Looking forward to that. Okay, well, if there are no other questions, I think we'll wrap up our program tonight. Let's see, Terry did have one quick announcement for you to make from the city. She would like folks to consider purchasing a ticket for the virtual Brew at the Zoo. You can go to visit atascadero.com/brew-at-the-zoo for that information. All the proceeds go to the Charles Paddock Zoo, and it's a great way to support the zoo from the convenience of your own home and try some delicious Atascadero brews. All right, everyone. Thank you all very much. Next month, we meet on, I'm just looking it up, Wednesday, May 5th. And I already know that we have members from SCORE going to join us. So looking forward to hearing what they have to say. Thank you all for your time this evening. Thank you for all our speakers. Fantastic job. Have a great week. Good night.